Hello, we're on plant cells, and in a previous video we talked about one Lego brick. Now in this video we're going to look at that, and on the board is that one Lego brick. This is one plant cell, and we're going to look at it as a whole and in individual parts. And as we go along, I want you to notice and remember two things. Number one, you would eventually need to learn how to draw. Number two, you will need to know how to name and know what each part is used for, and that will be very, very helpful to you. Now, shall we begin? In every diagram that we draw, we always want to look at the most important one first. Now, in terms of function, the most important part is called the nucleus. Alright, now the nucleus is represented by this little blue ball with squiggly lines that represents nuclear matter. Now, what does the nucleus do? Well, the nucleus is like the brain of the plant cell. So, we say that it controls all activities that happens inside the plant cell. Everything that functions, it receives the information, it receives instructions from the nucleus. Alright, now it has another function, and it contains the information for the cell. Now, it means that there are two situations in which a cell needs to use the information again. Firstly, to repair itself. If the cell is damaged, the nucleus has the information for it to rebuild itself, to repair itself. Another situation is for it to replicate. Now, for example, if the plant wants to grow. Now, we learned in the previous video that when a plant grows bigger or taller or in size, it's not that each cell grows bigger. Each cell is the same size, but it needs to have more of the same cell. So it replicates itself. So it's like a cut and paste. So if more of itself, it becomes bigger. So all this happens because of the brain, the nucleus. Now, the next thing we want to look at is this disc-like shape. So these disc-like things are called the chloroplast. All right, chloroplast. And the chloroplast is important because it contains this green pigment called chlorophyll. And you and I know by now that the chlorophyll is responsible for taking in sunlight or light in order for it to make food through the process called photosynthesis. So we say that the nucleus is like the brain, then we can call the chloroplast like the factory, because it is responsible for producing food, because it contains the green pigment called chlorophyll. All right? Now, we're going to cover the next one, and we're going to focus on looks like empty space, but it's not an empty space. It is a jelly-like substance called the cytoplasm. Right? It's a jelly-like substance called the cytoplasm. Now, if you can notice that all the cell parts exist inside the cytoplasm, so we can therefore say that the cytoplasm contains many cell parts. In fact, the cytoplasm is the environment in which the cell parts are able to live in. Right? So it has to be inside. If it's outside, they cannot survive. It's an environment that they live in. Now, if the nucleus decides to make new cell parts, it also has to happen inside the cytoplasm. So we can also say that it is where new cell substances are formed. All right? So, to wrap up, we say that the nucleus, to make it simple for you, nucleus is like the brain. It contains all the information it needs for it to decide what to do, when to do. The chloroplast is like the factory. It creates the food for it to survive. Cytoplasm is the environment in which the cells can move around and make new substances. So, we cover these three. In the next video, we'll cover the next three, and we can complete the cell parts. I'll see you then.